Hello and welcome to the Near Dark podcast, episode 15. Today we're gonna be discussing the movie Don't Breed. But first, let's presenting the breeding crew.
Hi there.
Hello to good people.
Wait, did you say breathing or breeding?
Breeding.
Oh, okay. Hi.
The breeding crew.
I mean the blind crew. The blind movie watching crew then,
Oh, I love watching my movies in
who
braille.
also breeds. Does that make sense?
No, not really.
I always love to watch my movies in
Of course
braille.
it makes sense. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Awesome.
Okay, move on.
Okay. So, before we get into it, do we have anything recently seen?
I have a couple movies for recently seen, but I don't think they fall under the horror slasher genre.
Same here. I actually rewatched Lord of the Rings, the first one.
Ah,
It's a good movie.
yes it is.
I don't have a whole lot to say about it really, unless we're gonna make it a really long conversation about it. But let's just move on.
Yeah, let's just move on. Angel, do you have anything? I take that as a no.
Not really. I've just been rewatching Fox animated TV series.
Cartoons.
Yeah, adult cartoons.
Ooh.
Or I believe you classify like... Fuck you, Tagger! I believe you classify like American Dad, Family Guy, and stuff like that as adult cartoons rather than
Yeah,
No, I just classify those as cartoons.
like My Little Pony and whatever. So yeah, no, I haven't watched anything.
I mean, to be fair, you don't have to be an adult to watch The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad.
Yeah, but still,
they're more, you know.
there are more adult jokes in them and whatnot.
Yeah.
We all know what type of adult
Well,
cartoons
that's-
you actually watched, Angel.
Jeez.
Anti-angel.
You just changed your name to Demon already.
More like Black Bible. Yeah, exactly.
The Black Hentai Bible.
Okay, on that bombshell. I got two picks for recently seen, and I watched them after we did the New Year's Evil episode. The first one I watched was Terror Train from 1980 with Jamie Lee Curtis. I think it was her third slasher movie. And it's about this group of college students who's gonna party at New Year's Eve on a train, and a mad slasher boards the train and starts to slaughter them one by one. I want to.
You want to not have a stroke?
Yes. I won't too deep into this one because we will cover it at some point.
I have it in my
but
watch
I'll
list,
say-
so
Yeah, but I'll say it's a good watch. It's a pretty good slasher movie, early 80s slasher. And the second one I watched was also a quote-unquote New Year's horror movie, and it's called Bloody New Year from 1987 by Norman J. Warren. The guy who did Inseminoid back in 1981, I think it was the Alien quote-unquote rip-off. It's about a group of British teenagers who looks like they're in their early 30s who gets shipwrecked and ends up on a deserted island. And they find a mysterious hotel that's decorated for New Year's, even though it's like in the middle of June. And it doesn't take too long before strange stuff starts to happen and they start to die one by one. It's like a really strange mix between slasher movie, haunted house movie, and like demonic possession movie. It's a really strange and really cheesy one. We'll probably cover that one as well later down the line, but yeah. And I've been catching up on the last season of Ash vs. Evil Dead as well, but I won't go into that. And that's pretty much it.
Let's get into Don't Breed.
Before we roll the trailer, I just want to say something. If you haven't watched this movie before you listen to this episode, pause the episode, watch the movie, and then come back, because we're gonna dwell into some serious spoiler territory.
I feel like that should be common knowledge
Yeah.
by now. Like we spoil almost every movie we watch.
We do, but this one,
Yeah, this is a movie you don't want to have spoiled, and
exactly.
you want to watch it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here is the trailer for Don't Breathe.
Your lips look sore. That's how you're making your cash out there?
What do you say you and I move away from Mom together? It's a promise.
You're leaving?
Yeah, as soon as I have the money.
When are you coming back?
Never.
Yo, I got our ticket out of here. Rumor is this guy is sitting on at least 300K. Boom!
That's our guy.
Wait, is he blind?
We messed up to rob a blind guy, isn't it?
Just because he's blind don't mean he's insane, bro.
Guys, money's probably in there.
Who's there?
Stay right there.
How many of you are there?
Me, man, all right? Just let me go, please. Okay, I swear to God.
We're trapped in here.
There has to be a way out of here. He's coming.
Now you're gonna see what I see.
A trio of thieves he overhears a rumor of a blind man who gets a lot of money after his daughter dies in a car accident. But after breaking into his house, they soon realize that he is far more dangerous than he seems. Actually, I really love this movie. It's a real nail biter of a movie. You're constantly on the edge of your seat. Pretty much every scene is really suspenseful. I love this movie. And what about you, Josef? What do you think of it?
Well, I gotta.
I was kidding.
Well, I gotta agree. I think Don't Breathe is one of the best and most suspenseful horror movies that has come out the last couple of years. And the first time around you watch it, it got some pretty heavy impact with all the twists and so on. This was a rewatch for me, so the movie didn't have the same impact as the first time I saw it, and well, it's a thrill right through and through, and even though I think it's lost some of the impact on my second viewing of it, basically.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very well acted, especially Stephen Lang as the blind man. And I think it's really fast paced. It's over before you even know it, and I think it's a lot of fun, even though it's got some really, really dark twists in it.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like with the movie is actually the three teenagers, because they're fucking stupid. Like, for instance, when they're talking about breaking into this guy's house, they're like sitting in it's some sort of what's it called?
Cafe or something.
Yeah, exactly. And they're like shouting out what they're talking about. Like, I don't think the employees in the back heard you. Please talk a bit louder. Like things like that. I just find that sure you have to allow some disbelief when you watch a horror movie, but oh man, I can't stand characters like that. But besides that, I think it's a great movie, a really, really good movie. One of the best horror movies that has come out the last couple of years. And if I rate it, I would probably rate it 7.5 or 8 out of 10. The first time around, it would have been a 9. So, Angel, what do you think about it?
I really like it. I love Stephen Lang's performance. He's a great actor, at least in this movie. I have seen him in Avatar from 2009, but I have completely repressed any memory from that movie.
That's understandable.
Yeah, exactly. I'd agree. The teenagers are, and I mean, besides Stefan's acting, I gotta say that the dog is the best performer in this movie. No, but I really like it. I believe I told you about it and said that I wanted to watch it, and you agreed that it sounded like a good movie, so we watched it at your place.
Yeah.
At like 2 a.m. So remember the neighbor upstairs like thumping something. I'll shit myself. It was such a good movie the first time you watch it. It's great. Watch it in a pitch black room. It's just like, yes. Preferably in the middle of the night. This is the third time I rewatched it, and it's not as good as it was the first time or the second time, but it's still a good movie. I'd rate it 7, 8 out of 10 don't breathing people. And that's kind of high for being me. That's about it, really. What about you, Dagger?
I really enjoyed it. It was. Sorry, yawning. Ugh. It was a good movie from start to finish. I'd say the only character that I hated the most was Cash. I'm actually so glad he was the first one to die.
His name was Mummy, I think.
Cash, money is the same.
Same difference.
His character was just very fucking annoying from the very beginning. I honestly think there was nothing redeeming about his character, other than the fact that he died. That's the only redeeming quality. The fact that he thought he could pull a gun on a blind war veteran was like the dumbest thing he could have ever thought to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from that, I loved everything about the movie. The turkey baster was probably my favorite scene, aside from when I think it was Alex who fell on the skylight.
Yeah, that's Alex.
Like the laundry room or whatever. Just like the way he seems to just like notice the cracking of the glass as he's still searching for Alex, and just like the way he walks off, because when I first saw the movie, I was like, oh, he's gone. He's going to search for Rocky now, and then to turn around and find out that he actually just went upstairs and shot Alex in the chest to break the glass and like almost kill him was a very good twist. It was probably the first twist I didn't like really know to see coming.
No. Was it the first time watch for you, Tiger, by the way?
Don't Breathe? No, I believe it was my third time watching it.
Oh, okay.
Ratings wise, I'd give it maybe about an 8.
Okay, what rating do you give it?
Probably a 9. I liked it that much. This was my second time watching it, and it's still pretty suspenseful. It's still really suspenseful.
It is suspenseful, even though it's like the second or third time you watch it. But when you watch it for the second or third time, you know the twists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you kind of notice a few things about like a few minor details that you didn't think of the first time watching it.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I noticed a couple of things that the teenagers says before they enter the house, like, why does he have 4 locks? And there was something else as well. I can't remember, but there were small things that you didn't pick up on during the first watch, while I was picking up them on my second viewing of the movie.
Yeah, I picked up one of the first thing I picked up on was when they had broken in and broken the lock down to his basement. Like you could tell that the blind man decided to kill them as soon as he found out that they had been in the basement.
Yeah, well, they hadn't been into the basement, but they were about to get into the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pretty much thought that they had been down in the basement, and that's why he wants to kill them.
Yeah, well, but Money said something like, "We know what you got in there, and we won't leave before we get it."
Yeah, exactly.
that actually made me think this time around if he had just kicked them out, if he didn't notice that they've broken up the cellar door.
Yeah.
Or like giving them ass whooping before he throws them out. Instead of just
Yeah.
straight up killing them and hunting them down.
Yeah. It was kind of like he thought that he can't let him leave now that they know what I got in the basement.
Yeah, exactly.
You saw my sex dungeon. Now you must die.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I picked up on though was at the beginning of the movie. I never gave it much thought, but I believe the girl he's dragging down to his house was the girl who killed his daughter. I want to say.
No, that was Rocky. Because you see the exact same scene at the end of the movie.
Oh, well, shit.
I didn't think about that the first time I saw the movie, but I picked up on it this time.
Yeah. I was also wondering, the second time watching it, if it was the girl in the basement or Rocky.
Mm.
I'm gonna be the boring one and actually figured it out pretty the first time I watched it. It's very predictable.
You're so boring.
I am really boring, I know. It's very frustrating. no, but like I've seen shit like that before, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be the girl, because I've already seen like a slightly like what characters are gonna be. I'm like, yeah, it's her. So, yeah, that's how fun I am. I didn't pick up on anything, no, that's wrong. I picked up on a lot of things, but I just didn't care enough to like think about it. Especially like the locks on the doors and whatnot. It's like, it's gonna come an explanation or something. But yeah, it was in the basement. The first time I saw it, it's like, well, shit.
I remember the first time we watched it, and before the big reveal in the cellar, you kind of, was rooting for Stephen Lang's character, the old guy. Like he's just defending his home.
Yeah, he's defending his home. He's blind. He's a war veteran. He's lost his daughter. You root for him like, the kids are the bad guys. He is the good guy, and
it's the home invasion formula turned around basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it turns out he's an even bigger asshole than what they are.
Yeah.
But that's one of the charms with this movie for me, but because there are no heroes here. Everyone is an asshole.
Yeah. Like, at the end, you don't really know who to root for.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I kind of pretty much all through the movie wanted to root for Stephen Long's character, but then the basement happened, and I'm like, this is so hard to decide. Who should I root for? This kind of like, it became a 50-50 at the end. Like, I want to root for him because of what's happened in the past, but then he's an asshole. And I want to root for the girl, since her living environment isn't the best, really. So it ended up being a 50-50 for me. And I'm pretty glad the other two died.
Yeah.
Yeah. You kind of want everyone to die in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah, basically. Yeah, I agree with you, Angel. You can understand why Stephen Lang's character has done the things he has done. Because, he's been into war, he has lost his ability to see, probably lost some of his ability to hear, and he lost his daughter, and he even says something like, she should have gone to prison, but rich girls doesn't go to prison.
Mm.
And you know, this kidnapping is basically her punishment. But at the same time, you know, it's both disturbing and disgusting.
Well, what he says is he only wants her to give him a new child, and then he will let her go. So there is also kind of 50-50. Sure, you want a kid back somehow, but that's not the way to go.
No,
Like you kidnap someone and whatnot.
No, yeah. But
I mean, you kinda agree with him, but that's just way too fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like taking justice to the extreme, basically.
Yeah.
And another thing he says while sitting there talking is about, like, she says something about God, and he's like, there's nothing for a man who realized that God doesn't exist or something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of like that comment. Like, if you have been a believer before, and then you go to war and everything happens, and like you lose the trust in God and whatnot, like that can also drive a man to the edge.
Yeah.
Making
exactly.
even more of this. He gets pushed to the end, or the edge, and then everything just snaps, and he believes what he is doing is the right thing, because what the pretty rich girl accidentally did to him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically an eye for an eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything he thought was of right and wrong in this world turned out to be a lie, sort of.
Pretty much, yeah.
So he kind of doesn't care anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
I just realized how mean that statement was, Joseph. Man's blind. How you gonna say an eye for an eye?
Very
yeah.
true.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Shall we move into scenes, or you have anything
Yeah.
else to say?
Yeah. What are your favorite scenes, Tiger?
So my two favorite scenes would be when Rocky's being chased through the ventilation shaft by the dog, and the turkey baster. Specifically when she shoves the turkey baster into his mouth.
That scene is so fucking disgusting.
The thing about the vent, I actually had a note about it. It's like, I thought it was terrifying the first time watching it because I have claustrophobia, and just thinking about crawling around like that is, oh god, no thank you. It's too much.
What about you, Ogge?
Well, first of all, I like the scene in the basement where he turns the light off. So now he has the upper hand.
Yeah, that's one of the scenes that stands out in the movie.
Yeah. I also like the car scene when she finally gets out of the house and you think she's safe, but now the dog is chasing her. So she gets in the car and can't start it, and the dog is on there barking, and you know he's gonna come eventually.
No.
That stressed me. I got so stressed watching it. First time I was almost screaming at it. Screaming at it. Yeah, that's probably my favorite scene of the movie, if I have to pick. What about you, Angel?
I don't really think I have a favorite scene. Okay, if I have to take one, I guess the first scene where they they sit in the car and just watches him because he's walking his dog. I like dogs, okay? I'm a simple woman. I like dogs. No, but I don't have a favorite scene at all because if I favoritize a scene with Steven Lang, I also kind of favoritize him in what he's doing, and that's yeah. So I'll favoritize the walking the dog thing. He's very innocent. How about you, Joseph?
Like you, I don't really have any favorite scene in the movie besides the complete darkness sequence and the Turkey Master. I just think from the point that they get into the house until like the last 2 minutes or whatever it is, the movie is just, it's just a big roller coaster ride straight through, and it's just sit on your edge kind of movie. And yeah, there's one scene I want to discuss, and that's when they break into the house at the beginning of the movie. Why does Rocky lay down on the bed? And why did Money piss all over the floor? Isn't that leaving a lot of evidence?
Well, first of all, I don't believe they check piss for evidence. Because
they could.
That's just purified stuff. And for Rocky, I guess, we see where she comes from. It's not a happy home. It's pretty much rock bottom.
Yeah. I get that part, but she could leave hair on the bed, which could be used as evidence.
Yeah, but what I mean is I don't think you think in the moment. You just kind of the adrenaline and whatnot.
Oh, maybe. What do you guys think, Ogge and Tiger?
It's a pretty bad idea. I don't know why they did it.
Yeah.
Well, the chance of getting caught for doing it is probably very small, but that still makes it a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Especially with how they just broke a window as they left. It just makes it makes the whole scene that much dumber.
Yeah.
Because basically you're attracting the police to the crime you just committed, and you've left this big pile of piss for people to just try and catch you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says a lot about the characters, though. Money is so stupid he would actually do it. And it also, you can tell she wants to be, she wants to pretend she's someone else, the girl, and
yeah.
I think that's the real reason they put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing with that they break the glass door is just because they want to cover it. So since Alex's dad is working with home security and whatnot, breaking the glass door is smarter than walking in, turning off the alarm, walking out, turning on the alarm. Because then they can't start to be suspicious of the home lock security companies, rather than just it's a small crime. Since he says if we steal things, we won't get as much time in jail as if we would steal money. And he is actually the brain behind everything, and he thinks everything out before.
Yeah, you can tell right away he is the brain behind of it.
Yeah, because I don't think Money would ever think that far.
Yeah, no, he would have taken everything and pissed on the blind man.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. And Alex is in love with Rocky, and Rocky just want to bail out and get the fuck out of Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty standard scenario, actually. Seen it in a few movies. Boy wants girl, girl wants out. Someone else is there.
It's kind of cliche characters, but they're very well executed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they work in the context of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you guys think the upcoming sequel will be about?
Rocky goes back now.
I don't think they've released any information on the upcoming sequel, but I was thinking we could, discuss a little bit what we think or what we want the sequel to be.
Well, they haven't said a release date or anything. I actually looked at it when I was looking at the movie, but they haven't said anything. They don't want to make the same scenario again, though. They want to make it something different.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I got out from the small thing I saw. But Stephen Lang is gonna be in it, apparently.
Yeah, you gotta be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's reprising the role as the blind man.
Yeah.
Maybe they turn it into a slasher where he's trying to get revenge on Rocky. I hope not, though.
He just made the body count rise.
I kind of want it to be that scenario, but in the sense of like he's more so going after Rocky's little sister just to like have her as his child since she took away his second child and didn't really try to give birth to a third one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty interesting, idea.
Maybe he gets help from someone and managed to trap them in their own home, and now he's the invader.
Yeah, I was actually having a theory about this movie, because there's one thing that never gets explained in this movie. How could Stephen Lang's character trap? I think her name was Cindy.
Yeah.
That's never explained. So I was thinking when I was watching the movie this time around that perhaps in the sequel that we get to know another character that wasn't shown in the first movie that helped Stephen Lang's character in the first movie.
Yeah.
Yes, you mean
like some sort of a revelation,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too disappointed about that, actually.
What did you guys think of the ending?
That she leaves at the airport.
Yeah.
The thing that I kind of have a problem with here is the amount of head trauma he is suffering. He gets beaten the living shit out of him with a fucking what was it called? Yeah, a crowbar to the head, and then falls into the basement. I mean, the head trauma you suffocate from that, you should be a vegetable. You shouldn't be able to do shit.
Didn't he get shot as well? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think he got shot in the
Is he
side by
fucking
his own
Jason
gun.
or something?
Yeah,
It might just be.
A distant
I said he.
Yo, what did you say, Tiger?
Oh, I was just saying he might just be Jason.
Yeah, I was like, distant relative.
He's the Punisher. What if it turns out Punisher is the one who helps him?
that would have been a pretty interesting movie, I think.
Yeah. And the sequel is Punisher going after Rocky.
Oh God. But yeah, I was actually thinking about that as well, Angel, when I rewatched it. I think you have to allow some disbelief when you watch this movie as well. Like, you know, there are a couple of things in there that's, well, basically they couldn't happen in real life, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know me in disbelief. We don't really go along.
But to answer your question, Ogge, I think the ending is okay. I guess this, you know, there's really no resolution to everything, basically.
Yeah.
Well, she gets away with the money, of course, but you know, the quote unquote bad guy survives. So there's a door open for a sequel.
Yeah. There was actually a different ending that they had in mind first, and that ending is that Rocky never escapes. She never escapes his house. She gets locked up inside a cage, and then the police comes to his house and start investigating, but they miss her cell.
Oh.
And that's how they first intended to have that ending.
Okay.
But they changed it because they thought that would be too dark. I kind of agree with that. I think it would have been too dark, I think. And that would also mean you kind of know what the sequel is going to be about.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind that ending, to be honest. But like you said, you would know what the sequel would be about if they ended the movie like that. It would have been very obvious.
Yeah.
Tiger, what do you think about the ending?
I actually really kind of like the ending. It kind of I don't know. I kind of felt like somewhere in the background, they should have had Stephen Lang's character like somewhere in the background after escaping from prison, just to like play up the suspense a little more. But that's just me, and I always just like to see like every character get what's coming to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically, all of the characters deserves what's coming for them in this movie.
Oh yeah. Well, except Rocky's sister. She's the only one who doesn't deserve anything bad to happen to her.
You sure about that?
She probably did something
Kinda
really,
sure.
really bad that we didn't get to see.
Yeah.
Well, if she's Rocky's sister, then probably.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ow. You guys are terrible.
Yeah.
Right. Do you guys have anything else to say, or?
Oh yeah, I'm kind of. It's about a scene that I was thinking about that I couldn't really find something realistic to think about. What is it Steven puts the girl's body in, the dead girl, who was pregnant? He puts her under the floor, but there's something that like he fills it up with around her. I never got what it was.
I don't know what it is, but it looked like oil, perhaps.
Yeah, it looked like oil. I imagine it's some sort of acid or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
I don't know.
Yeah, because I was thinking about it. Just
Yeah, I was also thinking about that. I mean, yeah. But I don't know what it was, but it looked like oil, but it could be acid or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, besides that, I don't really have anything. I got one trivia thing, but besides that,
Okay.
I like how Money pitched the idea of breaking into his house.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's an old man who's actually pretty poor, but now that his daughter is dead, he got a lot of money. So let's go in there and steal it. Oh, and it's a bet, by the way.
Yeah, like he doesn't have any moral standards at all.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What an asshole.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't listen to his name, so I just named him Dickhead in my notes.
Yeah.
Well, that's a pretty appropriate name, to be honest.
Yeah. It's like the lowest you can get.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Is. Okay, should we go into background?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a few trivia.
Yeah.
The dog was actually played by 3 different dogs: Aros, Astor, and Nomad. And
Doggos.
yeah, 3 doggos. And the house in the movie was filmed in Detroit, but the interior and the exterior sets was built in Budapest, where most of the movie was filmed. And if you notice from the trailer, the blind man says the line, "Now you're going to see what I see." But in the movie, he never says it. And that's all I have.
I have one thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. A video started on YouTube. I have one trivia, and it's about Alex. Dylan Minetti. He also plays Clay Jensen in 13 Reasons Why, a Netflix production. It blew up and became really big there for a while. That's all I have.
Yeah, I've actually seen that show.
Yeah, I'm almost done with the first season. It's very hard to get through.
Okay.
Yeah,
I won't say anything about it then.
Oh, nice. No.
Spoil it!
Everybody dies.
It wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah. It turns out that they're going for a summer camp in Camp Crystal Lake. And they all get killed.
I wish.
Freddy Krueger's there, Jason, Michael Myers, the blind man, and Terminator.
And you get a few cameos from Chucky just for the fuck of it.
Yeah, and Chucky.
In the background.
Yeah.
By the way, have you heard about the upcoming remake of Child's Play?
No, I haven't.
They've changed the doll's name to Buddy.
Uh-oh.
But it from what I've understood, it's basically the same plot as the original, about a single mother giving her kid a doll. Tiger, did you have any background?
I think I did. Oh yeah, I think the only background that I had was that it was from the interview that we watched, and it was just like, oh, it's the one movie where Stephen Lang didn't really do a whole lot of talking for a character. I think it was the probably like the most silent character he's ever done.
Yeah, I read somewhere that he got like 13 lines or something in the entire movie. Most of them were spoken at the end. I got a couple of things here. The director, Fede Alvarez, I think you pronounce his name, also directed the remake of Evil Dead. Jane Levy, who played Rocky, were also the main character in the remake of The Evil Dead. The contents of the turkey bastard, the director Alvarez said he used the same contents the X-rated film industry uses. So you got your answer there, Tiger.
Wait,
Yeah,
say that again?
the contents of the turkey baster.
Yeah?
Yeah. We spoke about it when we were watching the movie last night.
Right, what are the contents?
The same contents the X-rated film industry uses. You were hoping that they were real.
Wait, it's actually real sperm?
No.
Damn. What is it then? Like I don't know much about the porn industry other than they have like a few gems out of all these shitty things they put on Pornhub.
Okay. Good to know.
They're the fucking contents.
Well, Google is your friend.
Yes, but you seem to already know what the contents are, so just tell me.
Well, I don't fucking know. I don't work in the porn industry.
Okay, let's Google it then.
Yeah, on that bombshell. Let's continue. The work title for the movie were A Man in the Dark. And Stephen Lang has appeared in the 1993 Western Tombstone with Kurt Russell and Michael Biehn, just to name a few. He also appeared in the Stallone slasher Detox from 2002, the 2009 James Cameron sci-fi action-adventure Avatar, and the 2015 Dominic Purcell action flick Gridlocked. And he also played Sully in the Uncharted live-action fan film from last year, Ogge. And he also did a voice for Elias T. Walker in the Call of Duty Ghosts game back in 2013. I think that's the villain of that game, if I remember correctly. And that's everything I got.
Okay. I remembered some more stuff. The director, he wanted to make the movie a bit unique, in a sense that in most horror movies, the killer somehow has the upper hand, like it can be bulletproof or whatever.
Yeah.
He took away the eyes of the killer to make it more original,
Yeah.
to sort of handicap him and still make him menacing. He also got a bit of critique from his Evil Dead because it's too much blood and it relied too much on the shock value. So he wanted to make something more suspense and not so much blood in it, and try to rely on the psychological factor.
Well, I think that's just bullshit because Evil Dead, the Evil Dead franchise has always been about the gore and the blood. You know.
I agree.
Even Ash vs. Evil Dead is even more gross than the Evil Dead remake.
Yeah. If you want to watch something where there's not a whole lot of blood, don't watch Evil Dead.
Yeah. Okay, did you have anything else?
Nah, that's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, should we wrap this episode up then? Perhaps?
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay. The outro track will be The Prodigy Breathe. So you guessed right, Ogge.
Oh. I wasn't sure at all if I was right. Oh well. On that bombshell, this is done for this episode. So
The whole episode has been a big bombshell.
all we do is bombshell.
Yeah. We should change name on the podcast to Bombshell Podcast.
Yeah. Anyways, goodbye, good people.
Goodbye.
Are we gonna mention the next pick?
Oops.
Oh,
No, we ended the podcast here at 15 episodes. No, but next pick is my pick, and it's gonna be The Loved Ones from 2009, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
But now we can see good.
It's the Australian slasher movie, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now we can say goodbye to the good people.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Okay.
Goodbye, good people.
Goodbye, good people.
Bye, people.